Taxi driver on $50,000 bail for stealing cow. Qatar News. A 48-year-old taxi driver, Dennis Simon, also known as Wawa, appeared at the Charity Magistrates Court on Monday to face charges of cattle larceny. Simon, a resident of Lot 62 Reliance on the Essequibo coast, is accused of stealing a cow valued at $300,000 from Tassamati Lorry on November 10, 2024. During the hearing before Magistrate Tamika Clark, Simon pleaded not guilty. He was granted bail of $50,000 and is scheduled to return to court on March 17, 2025, for the disclosure of statements. Cell phone thief sentenced to 6 months in prison. Qatar News. A 50-year-old laborer, Miniram Singh, also known as Gabla, has been sentenced to 6 months in prison for stealing a cell phone. Singh, a resident of Bounty Hall on the Essequibo coast, was accused of stealing a cell phone valued at $180,000 belonging to Parsram Singh. The theft took place on March 10, 2025, at Long Excion Supermarket in Richmond. Appearing before Magistrate Tamika Clark, Singh pleaded guilty to the charge and received a 6-month prison sentence. Man on $400,000 bail for damaging car. Qatar News. A 28-year-old taxi driver, Navindra Lachman, also known as Rocky, has been granted $400,000 bail after appearing at the Suddy Magistrates Court for allegedly damaging a car. Lachman, a resident of Queenstown on the Essequibo coast, is accused of maliciously damaging a Nissan Tita motor car valued at $2,400,000, owned by Cleedon Mercurius. The incident took place on November 19, 2024, in Henrietta, Essequibo coast. During the court session before Magistrate Tamika Clark, Lachman pleaded not guilty and was granted bail. He is scheduled to return to court on April 1, 2025, for disclosure. Lachman has a prior criminal history. In February 2023, he was charged with the rape of a child under 16 years. He appeared virtually at the Suddy Magistrates Court before Magistrate Crystal Lambert, where it was alleged that he engaged in sexual acts with the minor between February and June 2022. He was placed on $250,000 bail with conditions to relocate from Queenstown to Riverstown, Essequibo coast. Additionally, in October 2024, Lachman faced charges for attempt to commit murder against Akila Maynard. He appeared at the Charity Magistrates Court before Magistrate Clark, where he was remanded to prison without entering a plea. Minor jailed for assaulting and threatening PNCR's Region 2 chair. Qatar News. A 56-year-old minor, Otis Baird, has been sentenced to 1 month in prison and fined $20,000 for assaulting and threatening Prince Holder, chairman of the People's National Congress Reform, PNCR. Baird, a resident of Richmond on the Essequibo coast, appeared before Magistrate Tamika Clark at the Suddy Magistrates Court. The incident occurred on January 13, 2025, in Richmond. He was found guilty on both charges, receiving a 1-month jail sentence for the assault and a fine of $20,000 for the threatening language. If he fails to pay the fine, he will face an additional month in prison. Armed bandits rob and assault shop owner and staff at Okaback Dam. Qatar News. 3 armed bandits robbed a small variety shop in Okaback Dam, Kuyuni Mazaruni, Region 7, on Wednesday evening. The incident occurred around 7 p.m. and was captured on video, which has since circulated on Facebook. The footage shows the suspects ordering 2 women into the shop at gunpoint. The bandits can be seen taking several items from the store, and at one point, one of them fired multiple shots inside the shop. During the robbery, one of the bandits grabbed a woman by the hand and threatened her with a gun. In a desperate plea for mercy, she cried out, "Don't chuck me, buddy, oh God, don't chuck me." Attempts to reach the commander in charge of Region 7 for additional information were unsuccessful. Man jailed for assaulting wife. Qatar News. A 32-year-old laborer, Kevin Roberts, has been sentenced to 1 month in prison for assaulting his 17-year-old wife. Roberts, a resident of Queenstown on the Essequibo coast, committed the offense on March 9, 2025, at their home. He pleaded guilty when he appeared before Magistrate Tamika Clark at the Suddy Magistrates Court. U.S. Ambassador reinforces support for Guyana against Venezuela's aggression. News source Guyana. U.S. Ambassador to Guyana, Nicole Theriault, reaffirmed her country's unwavering support for Guyana amid Venezuela's claims over the Essequibo region and its recent aggressive actions. Speaking at the launch of the Greater Guyana Initiative project, the ambassador expressed deep concern regarding Venezuela's incursions, specifically citing a recent incident involving a Venezuelan Coast Guard vessel entering Guyana's waters. "We support Guyana 100% against this unacceptable aggression. We will not allow Venezuela to threaten Guyana's territory and sovereignty. Alongside many international partners, we stand shoulder to shoulder with Guyana," Ambassador Theriault assured reporters. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has also publicly condemned Venezuela's actions and reinforced the U.S. government's commitment to supporting Guyana. The situation escalated 2 Saturdays ago when Guyana alerted the international community about the Venezuelan Coast Guard's incursion, which occurred near oil ships. This incident has drawn widespread condemnation. Additionally, Guyana is taking legal action in the international court to block Venezuela's plans for a gubernatorial election in the disputed Essequibo region. Guyana's Home Affairs Minister, Robson Ben, warned that individuals supporting Venezuela's claims could face treason charges. Trinidad and Tobago law enforcement busts 400 pounds of cocaine on ship from Guyana. News source Guyana. Law enforcement agencies in Trinidad and Tobago have announced a significant cocaine trafficking bust linked to Guyana, seizing over 400 pounds of cocaine aboard a vessel registered in Guyana. In a statement this morning, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, TTPS, revealed that the seizure occurred during an intelligence-driven operation conducted in collaboration with the Drug Enforcement Administration, DA, Port of Spain Office, U.S. GIAF South, and the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard, TTCG. Acting Commissioner of Police Junior Benjamin stated that the narcotics were expertly concealed within a sealed compartment on the shipping vessel. The operation was initiated after receiving information that the vessel, which had traveled from Guyana to Trinidad, was carrying a substantial quantity of drugs disguised as legitimate cargo destined for St. Martin. The TTPS confirmed the vessel's arrival in Trinidad on February 25, 2025. Following this, a rigorous surveillance operation was launched to monitor the vessel's activities. On March 11, 2025, the vessel was seen receiving large shipments of goods, but despite appearing routine, it remained under close observation. On the afternoon of March 12, 2025, the crew unexpectedly altered their departure schedule, raising suspicions among officers. As a result, law enforcement agencies intensified their scrutiny and tracked the vessel's movements. It was eventually intercepted by the TTCG in open waters and escorted to Staubles Bay, where specialized resources, including a canine unit, were deployed for a thorough search. After a meticulous 2-day inspection, authorities discovered a concealed compartment containing cocaine in 157 packets, weighing a total of 182.24 kilograms. The Guyana Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit has been informed of the bust and is currently assisting with investigations from the Guyanese side. Minibus operators under fire for loud music and overcharging passengers. Guyana Times. Public transportation in Guyana remains a significant concern for commuters, who face issues such as overcharging, loud music, and reckless driving. During a recent Road Safety and You program, citizens voiced their frustrations, while police officials reaffirmed their commitment to addressing these challenges. Traffic Officer for Region 3, Essequibo Island West Demerara, Superintendent Miniram Jagnanan, urged the public to help combat minibus misconduct. It is your duty to take the number of the vehicle and report it to the nearest police station. If you are overcharged, note the vehicle number. With smartphones, it's easier than ever to report these drivers, he stated. Many callers expressed anger over aggressive minibus operators who demand high fares, especially during rush hours. One caller recounted a troubling experience. There are drivers bullying passengers to pay double fare, as much as $500. The driver comes in smoking something, drinking a Guinness, and speeding with loud music. Passengers who try to speak out often face intimidation. Another caller shared, "If you say anything, they threaten you. I was once thrown out of a bus and others just laughed." Some passengers don't care about their safety, which emboldens the drivers. In response, police officials are taking steps to enforce noise regulations in public transportation. Superintendent Jagnanan explained, "Every day, the Guyana Police Force conducts operations against hire cars and minibuses. If they breach regulations, we prosecute and seize their musical equipment." Despite these efforts, some minibuses continue to use large boomboxes, disturbing both passengers and the public. A caller suggested the deployment of undercover officers to monitor violations. The police need undercover operators to document what's happening and take action, they urged. There were also calls for stricter penalties for offending drivers. One caller emphasized, "Education alone won't work. Drivers need to fear consequences for their actions." The police assured the public that their efforts to regulate minibus operations will persist. Superintendent Jagnanan stated, "We are taking action, charging offenders, and bringing them to court." However, he stressed that enforcement must be complemented by public cooperation in reporting violations. Lawless minibus operations remain a pressing concern, but authorities are hopeful that sustained enforcement and active community participation will lead to a safer and more regulated transportation system. A new low, Jagdeo ridicules Hughes' pay-to-view vision. Dr. Bharat Jagdeo, General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party, PPP, has sharply criticized Alliance for Change, AFC, leader Nigel Hughes for his plan to monetize his political manifesto. Hughes recently launched a website promoting the Better Must Come movement, inviting individuals to learn about his vision for Guyana, but requiring financial contributions for access. At a press conference on Thursday, Jagdeo remarked, "I have seen all sorts of things in my political life, but I have never seen a political party in Guyana sell its manifesto. You have to pay some money before you learn of his vision. This is a new low for Guyana, or maybe a new high. But it is pretty unusual." Jagdeo labeled Hughes' approach as bizarre and elitist, pointing out that the website features a tiered payment system where higher contributions purportedly provide greater involvement in Hughes' campaign. He criticized Hughes and his supporters as sophisticated upper-middle-class individuals who look down on the rest of the populace. Furthermore, Jagdeo condemned the AFC's lack of a concrete vision for the country, highlighting Hughes' previous admission of relying on other parties to formulate a plan as a sign of incompetence. He accused the AFC of being untrustworthy, given their failure to acknowledge their involvement in the controversial 2020 elections. Emphasizing the PPP's commitment to inclusivity and practical improvements for the Guyanese people, Jagdeo contrasted it with the fragmented and disingenuous nature of the opposition, particularly the A Partnership for National Unity, APNU, and AFC, which he claimed are only interested in personal gains. Jagdeo urged the public to recognize the PPP's dedication to realistic plans, in stark contrast to the opposition's lack of direction and credibility. Government to launch national program for prostate cancer screening. The government is set to launch a significant national initiative in collaboration with international partners and Men on Mission, MOM, to provide prostate cancer screening for men aged 45 and older across the country. President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali announced this initiative during the launch of the Universal Healthcare Voucher at the Arthur Chung Conference Center in Liliendal. Early detection gives you a better chance of achieving the best results, President Ali emphasized. He noted that the government is already working on a strategy to address prostate, breast, and colon cancer through early detection and national screening and treatment. In 2024, the government conducted over 13,600 prostate-specific antigen, PSA, blood tests, resulting in 2,607 men with elevated PSA levels, 536 biopsies, and 126 new prostate cancer diagnoses. The president also highlighted that nearly 10,000 women are benefiting from free cervical cancer screenings. We can significantly reduce deaths from prostate, breast, and cervical cancers through early detection and treatment, he stated. The government is investing in advanced medical technology and equipment to enhance treatment options and has praised the private sector's contributions to healthcare improvements. Our healthcare system aims to support regional needs and deliver global health services here in Guyana, President Ali explained. He emphasized the importance of international connectivity and partnerships, positioning Guyana as an attractive destination for global healthcare services. The president also noted that the Ministry of Health is strengthening partnerships with major global health institutions, which reflects a results-driven approach and a commitment to maximizing the country's healthcare potential. This success is the result of hard work, leadership, and strategic foreign policy, he concluded, underscoring the importance of effective health diplomacy for the nation. Draft list for U.S. travel ban targets 43 countries. Newsroom: the Trump administration is considering a new travel ban that could affect citizens from up to 43 countries, potentially imposing stricter restrictions than those seen during his first term. A draft list of recommendations, developed by diplomatic and security officials, includes a red list of 11 countries whose citizens would be completely barred from entering the United States: Afghanistan, Bhutan, Cuba, Iran, Libya, North Korea, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, Venezuela, and Yemen. Officials, speaking anonymously due to the sensitive nature of the discussions, noted that this draft was created several weeks ago by the State Department and may change before reaching the White House. Reviews from embassy officials and regional bureaus are ongoing, focusing on the accuracy of deficiencies cited for each country and potential policy considerations. Additionally, an orange list of 10 countries has been proposed, where travel would be restricted but not fully prohibited. Citizens from these countries, Belarus, Eritrea, Haiti, Laos, Myanmar, Pakistan, Russia, Sierra Leone, South Sudan, and Turkmenistan, would require mandatory in-person interviews for visa eligibility. Upon taking office on January 20th, Mr. Trump issued an executive order mandating the State Department to identify countries with deficient vetting and screening processes that could warrant travel restrictions. A report detailing this list is expected next week. Spokespeople from various agencies have declined to comment on the draft, but the State Department has reiterated its commitment to national security through its visa processes. While Afghanistan was not included in the previous travel bans, its recent political changes have prompted its consideration. However, it remains unclear whether existing visa holders or green card holders would be exempt from the new ban. Some countries on the proposed lists are not new to restrictions, as they were part of earlier travel bans. Notably, Bhutan's inclusion as a complete ban target raises questions, as does the potential restriction on travelers from Russia, amid shifting U.S.-Russia relations. The draft also includes a yellow list of 22 countries, which would be given 60 days to address perceived deficiencies related to travel information sharing and security practices. This list comprises Angola, Antigua and Barbuda, Benin, Burkina Faso, Cambodia, Cameroon, Cape Verde, Chad, the Republic of Congo, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Dominica, Equatorial Guinea, Gambia, Liberia, Malawi, Mali, Mauritania, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, São Tomé and Príncipe, Vanuatu, and Zimbabwe. During Trump's first term, earlier travel bans faced legal challenges, but a revised ban was eventually upheld, affecting citizens from 8 nations. In contrast, President Biden revoked these bans shortly after taking office, labeling them as a stain on our national conscience. Trump's recent executive order emphasizes the need to protect American citizens from individuals who may pose security threats or exploit immigration laws.